Today is the day! I finally finished my secret project and I am so excited to share it with you guys. But first we have to do like some intros or something. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Stitch and Chill. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. I'm so glad that you want to spend some Stitchy time with me. If you are a returning viewer and you're not subscribed, it's a button, just click it real fast, you know? And if you are new here, welcome. My name is Kelsey and this channel is all about cross stitching and the chill things I like to do while I'm cross stitching. Mostly because if I am cross stitching while I watch TV, I won't be eating while I watch TV. Today's video, I'm going to share my finish with you guys. It is fully finished. I don't have it with me because I did gift it to my friend, but I'll be putting pictures up there. Also, I have some Stitchy kindness to talk about, and then a whole lot of WIPs. There's a whole stack right here and a couple new starts in that WIP pile. And we'll get to why I have a ton, and this is an accidental WIP parade today because I touched every project in October. So yeah, you get to see everything, but not a ton of progress on everything. So let's start with the Stitchy kindness. One of my giveaway givers, Shani, was so kind. She messaged me on Instagram and she's like, I have all these threads on bobbins and I don't use bobbins and I don't want to unbobbinate them. Do you want them? And I was like, yes, obviously. So she sent me, which this is more than what I was expecting. She sent me all of these threads. Like, there's a ton of them. And and she sent me this box too. It's like only half full. And she said that you can fit a whole kit of DMC in here. This is obviously not the whole thing, but this is a lot. So thank you so much, Shani. That is, you're so sweet to send this to me. And I'm excited to put I have like 2 small little bobbin holders. So I'm probably gonna put my bobbins in here now. Although hers are like all nicely labeled with like stickers and stuff. So I'm gonna put my trash bobbins down on the bottom part of it. So again, thank you so much, Shani. That was so kind of you. If you are a giveaway winner, make sure that you message me on Instagram. It's at xstitchandchill. And you can, winners were announced in not the last FlossTube, but the FlossTube before. So I guess that's 23, because this is 25. So go check and see if you are one of the winners and message me so that you can get your prize. Okay, so I have been talking about this secret project for like months because I started it in July and I just finished it. Let's see, today's Tuesday. Today's Halloween. So I finished it on last Thursday. And I was stitching it for a friend of mine for her baby shower, which was on Sunday. So I finished just in the nick of time. And I got it fully finished and everything. Like I said, I don't have it because I gifted it to her, but I will put a picture up there. And so this is it, the finished product. Yay! It is the Hobbit door, and it is by TJ. I don't know how to say it. I'll put the spelling down below. And I found it on Etsy, and it is a cute little Hobbit door with some flowers growing on either side. And I did rechart the words. I think the original words said, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." But I changed it to a different quote of his, which was even the smallest person can change the course of the future. So I recharted that the best I could. I'm not the most amazing at it. If there wasn't a word, like a letter already on there, I was like, I don't know what to do. So like my S's, I feel like are not perfect, but they're fine. It's fine. So this stitch is not quite full coverage, like the door and everything was full coverage, but then like the stones coming out and the flowers and stuff. But it was like 16,000 stitches, and it is pretty much all I worked on in October, trying to get it done. It was the only thing when I went on our trip to Hawaii. It was the only thing that I stitched on while I was there, and I was like, I just wanted to rain one day, so I have like an excuse to sit inside and stitch on this for all day. But I didn't. It did rain one day, but otherwise we were out in the sun and having fun. But yeah, so I was able to finish that one. It was a little bit down on the wire, like I said, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, and it's beautiful. And here's my friend with her gift, hanging up in her baby's nursery, hopefully. And then this month for the fandom stitching, there were 2 monthly challenges, and one of them was stitch on the same project for 13 days, and not in a row, but just 13 days through October, and that helped a lot. That was the project that I did. So it was like racking up the points trying to get it done when I was spending like, okay, I did 400 stitches, 500 stitches, 400 stitches. So that really helped me get through it. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I wish I had it in person, but I didn't have time. So I barely had time to take the photos. I actually was like, oh, in the morning, because I finished it at night and put it in the frame. And then I was like, well, in the morning, I'll take pictures of it. And then that night I was like, well, I better wrap it so I don't have to do it in the morning, because I gotta like shower and get ready and everything. And then afterwards I was like laying in bed and I was like, what am I doing? I wrapped it already and I need to take pictures of it. So I had to unwrap it in the morning to take a couple pictures and then rewrap it. So, yeah, my brain, that's how my brain works, you know? So that's the only finish that I have to share with you guys, but I do have some new starts. So the other fandom stitching challenge for the month was to work on 13 different projects for 13 different days. So I was like, oh, well, that's cool. I got a bunch of WIPs. I can make that happen. And as I'm like when I got to 8, I was like, I don't have enough WIPs for this. So I had to start a few, just a few, 2. I started 2. So the first one I started is, yeah, we'll go with that one. The first one I started is Cats in Plants, and I stitched another one of these earlier. I'll try to put a picture because it's kind of like in the hoop. But I used it as a test stitch for stitching on even weave. I did 25 count even weave, and I did 2/1 tent stitch. I just wanted to see what the coverage was like, if that was something that I would be interested in. And I did really like it. So I was like, well, what's an easy like thing to start? Because I kind of was starting a project for the sake of starting a project, which I don't really like doing, but this one's little. So I was like, okay, I'll just start this one. So I started another one, and this is the cat that I started. There's a series of 6 little patterns. So you had to do 100 stitches in order to count that day as a day of stitching, right? So a lot of these only got 100 stitches because I was like, I got my 100 stitches in, now I gotta move on to the next project, or I gotta go back to Hobbit door. So yeah, this one is one that got 100 stitches. I'm starting to work on his tail, which is in the plant. So this is what it looks like. So this is the other one that I did with him laying down, but this is my start on that. Not a very big start. Like I said, it's like 100 some stitches, and I didn't even finish like the thread. Like it still has like a bunch attached to it. But I decided to use it as an opportunity to try to stitch 1/1 full cross on 25 count to see what that looks like, so then I can compare it to the 2/1 tent stitch. So yeah, it's kind of like, this is like a learning piece. So it's kind of nice, and I think it looks really good. I do like it, but like for like a big piece, like if this was a full coverage piece, I don't know if I would do the 1/1 because in theory, 10 stitches faster, right? You're doing half the stitching, but I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so that is Cats and Plants, and that was one of my starts. My next start, I was planning on starting anyway. I just wasn't planning on starting it in October. I was going to start it in November. And it is one of my Christmas stitches, and it is Tidings of Comfort and Joy from Modern Folk Embroidery. So they did theirs on a white, like creamy gray fabric with like white stitches, and I really liked how that looked, but I wanted to stitch this one from stash. So I am using a 18 count Picture This plus Fog for this one, and the thread is Louisiana Hot Sauce, which is a Weeks dyes. So here is my start on that. And again, this one only got like 100 stitches because that's all I had to do to make it count. That was the minimum. So I got 100 stitches in on that one. I'll keep working on this one for sure though as time goes on, because it's a Christmas stitch and I want it for Christmas. So yeah, and I like the red on the white. It looks really good. And a funny story about that one, if you are on my Instagram, you kind of saw, but I like kitted it all up and I took it to my daughter's cheer practice because I was like, well, I'm going to work on that while I'm there because that'll be my new start and it'll count towards my 13 stitches or my 13 projects. And I got there and I sat down, I got everything out, and I was like, I don't have a needle. So I was like really sure to bring scissors and everything. And then I was like, I didn't bring a needle for this project. So luckily it's pretty close to a Michael's. So I ran up to Michael's and I got one, and I still got like a good hour and a half of stitching because it's a 2-hour practice. So yeah, that was fun. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. So my next WIP is one I started on Witchy Stitcher Day. So it is a Witchy Stitcher design, and it is Witch's Brew, which is like a little teacup with some stuff coming out of it. Super cute. And this one got a little bit more, 223 stitches. I think this is one of the first ones I worked on for the 13 projects for 13 days. And so I was feeling a little more ambitious. You get 1 point for every 100 stitches. So I think I was like, oh, well, I'm going to get more stitches. So this one got 200 something. And yeah, this is what it looked like last time I showed you guys. I had just started it for Witchy Stitcher Day, and I don't think it had gotten very many stitches in it as well. And then this is what it looks like now. So I'm working in on the teacup, and it is going, it's going, getting there. This one's not very big, so should be able to finish it. Well, even though it's like Halloween is today and it's over, I'll probably still work on it just so it can be done at some point. And I am stitching this on an 18 count Aida from Vintage Needle Arts, and the color is Wild Wasabi, and I like the green for it. I didn't want to do like total like acid ectoplasm green. So this is like a nice little subtle green, but still a little creepy, you know? I'm going to try not to talk about these forever so that this video isn't 3 hours long. Okay, the next one, trying not to like knock them all off the table, the desk while I'm doing it. So this one is my Heart of the Autumn. If you've been here before, you know that I am stitching all of the Heart of the Seasons from Little Dove Stitches, and there's a couple of us who are doing them as a SAL. So if you want to join in, you can always start in whatever season you want. It doesn't have to be autumn. It can be whatever season you want. I know someone on Instagram just started winter because she was like, it's gonna start snowing and it's gonna be my winter stitch, so like, or my snow day stitch. So whenever it snows, I stitch on that one. And winter is my favorite of the 4 patterns, so I'm really excited to get to work on that one. But this is where I was last time. I don't think I was very far, but as soon as I finished the Hobbit door, I started working on this one because it's supposed to be done by December. And right now, if I do 250 some stitches every day, I'll be done by the end of November. And then I can start winter on time. So I'm going to try. This one is probably going to become more of a focus piece, and I'm going to try to do those 250 stitches every day. But yes, I showed you what it looked like last time, right? If not, there it is again. And this is what it looks like now. So I'm almost done with this top motif. There are a lot of pumpkins to put in there, so there still is quite a bit of stitching left to do. And then there's the leaves down here and everything. So there's still a lot. This is only like 17% or something. So yeah, working in on that. And it's super cute. I love the little purple overalls on the, what is that called? Scarecrow. They're so cute. But yeah, so, I mean, this one looks very similar to the others where it's got the garden kind of area over here. And then this is like the house. And then there's like a little bench with leaves and everything and some more birds and stuff. So yeah, that one will be really cute. I've been working on this one a lot on my Twitch streams. So if you would like to join me, I am there on Wednesday afternoons and Sunday afternoons. And we just kind of stitch and chat and hang out, and it's a good time. All right, this next one needs a little love. It's a little bit of a mess right now. Okay, so this next one is my really big full coverage. So this one is Tea Room, which will look like this. And I got it from, oh my gosh, I can never remember it. It's like Foxy Crafts Goods is whose it's by. And I found it on Etsy. And I just loved the colors, and I loved the scene and the big room and the blue couch. So yeah, I got this one recently. And this one is actually my favorite one to stitch on. Which is a little wild because it is on 28 count and I'm doing it 2/110 stitch, and I'm using the Royal Rose method. So, and I think like every time I get a row done, I get a little more motivated because I can like see things happening. So I'll show you when I show you, I'll show you. So yeah, this is what it looked like last time I showed you guys. I am working towards a page finish. I'm on the last row of columns to do. And then I'll have finished the first page, but this is what it looks like now. So I am working underneath all these strings right now, that way. And like, I think what's really motivating, if you can see it, is like this window up here. Like that was a pain in the ass to stitch all those light colored stitches on this light colored fabric. It was an absolute nightmare. I hated every second of it. But now that I see that window, I feel like that is like the biggest motivating factor for working on this one. And I get really excited to work on it, even though it's like super cumbersome with all this fabric. It's like I have to use my magnifying glass to stitch with it, and it has to have a lot of light. And even then I'm like, I can't tell what's happening. But having that window up in the corner and seeing like the light coming through, I'm like, oh, okay, I see the vision. This is gonna be absolutely gorgeous when it's done. So I really actually look forward to working on this one. It's currently my favorite stitch. So this one got 200 stitches for the challenge because half stitches don't count as a full stitch. You have to do double the amount. So I had to do 200 in order to get the 100. So yeah, this one is turning out really good. And like I said, I did the 25 count like experiment, and then I went with 28 count. But I think next time when I start a big one, which I think my next like huge one is going to be to start the Moe Shandon one. I think I'll do it on 25 count. I'll still do 2 over 110 stitch, but I think 25 count might be better for my poor eyes. So the next one I really only picked up for the challenge again, and it got 207 stitches. Again, this is one of the first ones I picked up, so I was a little more ambitious about how many stitches I was going to do on each of the 13 projects. Towards the end, it was like, just get 100 done and be done. So this is what it looked like last time, and this is charted by, this is charted by Thread Geeks, and the art is by DJ Vigo, and this is a retired pattern, so I'm not sure if you can find it anywhere, but this is where I am now. So I'm nearly finished with all this blue in here, and then I'll do the black. But yeah, it's looking really great. I love it. Love it. So yeah, it didn't get a ton of progress, but it got a little progress. It got touched, so that's great. The next one is my Farming Magic Stitch Along by Flossy Fox Shop. And this one, again, only got 100 stitches. I think I did like a couple of the clouds up in the corner. I don't know if I worked on it any other time. I might have worked on something when I was on the plane, but I don't remember what. The second time I worked on my Hobbit door. The first time, I don't think I worked on anything. The flight was really bumpy and I was stressed out. So, but anyway, this is what it looks like now. So this is the whole thing. And then I am working in the last part in the corner here. So there are my clouds that I worked on. And yeah, literally did 103 stitches on this. So I did like my 100 stitches and I'm like, I'm done. But this one needs to get a little more love in the next couple weeks or so that I can finish it and try and fully finish it, I guess. I don't know. All right, so next one is my temperature stitch. I am really surprised that I have stayed so close to being up to date on this one. Hopefully that continues in my next year's temperature stitch. But this one is this year's temperature stitch, and it is by the Needle and Thread, the Needle and Floss. This is what it looked like last time. I think I was getting close to finishing September, and now I am on, I think, my last day in September. I've done the low for the last day in September, and then October will be next. But this is what it looks like now. I didn't take it out of the hoop because I'm lazy. But this is like my go-to, like, I want to stitch, but I don't want to get all the stuff out stitch, because it is really easy. Like, I don't need a pattern for it. I know it's the same thing over and over and over again. And then I can just look up the colors that I need for it on my phone. I don't really need anything that drastic. So it's really easy. And then it's like in this little tiny hoop. So it's really easy to just like, oh, here we go. Here's my little stitch. Sit on the couch and stitch it. It doesn't require a lot of brain power or anything either. So it's kind of my go-to, like, I want to stitch, but I'm feeling lazy about it kind of stitch. So yeah, that one, hopefully I can finish. There is like some elements that I haven't done yet. Like there's like a border along the sides of like some black stitching, and then I'll put the location and the year on the bottom. So there's still some things to be done even when the temperatures are done, but yeah, that one is going well. The next one is my F1 stitch, which is the Biscuit Mill by Modern Folk Embroidery. So this one is one I'm supposed to be working on during F1 weekends, and with trying to finish the Hobbit door on time, it's been neglected on F1 weekends. I've been working on the other one on F1 weekends, but I worked on a lot of green stitches, so it counts, right? So this is what it looked like last time. I think I had just finished page 1 and I was starting to work into page 2. And now this is where I've gotten. So I think I pretty much just kind of did this one. And this one really only got like 100, 200 stitches for the challenge also. So just trying to get the challenge done. Because if you got both challenges done, you got their points for the challenge, and then you got 500 bonus points, which is a lot. So I was like, I'm doing that. So yeah, that's where this one's at, and it is really cute. So once I finish, the F1 season only has like 3 or 4 more races left. So I don't think I'm going to finish it with the season ending, but hopefully I can finish it by the time the new season starts, because then I can start a new F1 stitch. Maybe I won't participate this year. I'll probably participate actually, but I'll just maybe not make a dedicated project for it, I think. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, the next one, which again only got 100 stitches, 111 stitches, is my Schitt's Creek. And this one is by Stitchy Time Designs on Etsy. And I'm not even going to bother to show you what it looked like last time because it looks the same. I'm kind of in this like brown hole right now, and it's not very motivating to pick this stitch up. But I am on page 4, so that's exciting. But here it is. So I just did 100 stitches in that brown building on the bottom, and I messed up somewhere on that blue roof. So I'm kind of like fudging my way through it. It's a lot harder to fudge when it's like color blocks versus like the confetti, because like with the confetti you can just be like, stitch anything right there. It doesn't really matter. There's a bunch of gray stitches around it. I'm just going to stitch it in this gray. Doesn't quite work the same for this one. But yeah, so this is all the landmarks from Schitt's Creek, the show. I do want to pick it back up and get a little more work done on it, but alas, so many WIPs, so little time. Okay, there's 2 more. Now we're getting into like projects, like I just pulled them out to get 100 stitches on them so I could get the challenge done. So the next one, we're gonna have to whisper because my husband's upstairs and this one's for him. Maybe, I don't know. I might never finish this. This was the last one I worked on for the challenge, and because I hate it so much. It's such a pain in the ass. So it's stitching it on linen. So it is a 28 count casual linen. I got it from 123 Stitch, but I can't remember who the dyer is. But anyway, fabric is absolutely gorgeous. I love the fabric. I hate stitching on it. So I've got hair all over this. So I think last time I showed it, I was saying how I put 2 of them too close together. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? And so I did end up frogging an entire track. Yeah. So I frogged it, and then I was like, you know what? I wonder what it would look like if I did 1/1 full cross instead of doing 2/1 10 stitch. And I have to admit, I do like it better. Am I going to start over? Maybe. I feel like maybe I might just get like, I don't know. The problem is that it's so humongous. So I can't put it on anything like bigger, but maybe I would do an even weave instead of a linen, because the linen is just so hard to stitch on. Like frogging it was so hard because of like slipping. Like I would think I was frogging the right stitch, but the right stitch is actually like buried under the fibers. So yeah, but anyway, this is what it looks like. So I worked on that bottom one that's not finished, and I did 100 stitches. It felt like torture, and it's done. So I really only pulled that out for the challenge. It's still one that, like, still figuring out. And I think this one is especially hard because the pattern, which is by Zoomy Stitches on Etsy, is that they were all separate patterns. So each track was a separate pattern. And I'm trying to, like, put it all on one thing when I think that they're kind of made to, like, make separately. Well, they are made to make separately. So it's, like, huge, and I don't know. This one is not my friend at the moment. So we're gonna bury it down deep and never bring it up again. All right, my last and final WIP is one that I haven't pulled out in forever either. So this is one that I designed myself. I call it like a sunset vacation window or sunset window or something. I don't know what I call it, but I am never really excited to pull this one out. It's just so big, and I took it from an illustration that I did, and it took forever to chart. And then by the time I finished charting it, I was like, I gotta stitch this. And then I'm stitching it on a 14 count, like printed Aida, and I just don't really stitch on 14 count anymore. I don't know. There's just a lot. And then, like, the more I stitch it, the more I realize, like, weird things I did in the pattern. And I don't know. Anyway, this is what it will look like eventually. I don't know if I've ever shown it on here. And then this is where I am. So amazing. I did do, like, some blended threads between the blue and the purple, so you won't be able to tell on the camera. But I did, like, a strand of each color on there as it's, like, transitioning from the blue to the purple. Like I said, you probably can't see it on the camera, but yeah, that's that one, which only got pulled out and got 100 stitches. And, like, a lot of these, like, I just, like, I didn't even, like, finish the ends. Like, I just stuck the needle back on the binder with the floss in it, and I was like, I did it, 100 stitches. So yeah, that one is, will probably come out when there's another kind of challenge or something. That's what that one's for. It's a challenge stitch. If anyone's interested in stitching it, I'll send you the pattern. But yeah, I'm not at the moment. There's just so many other things to stitch. And this is why I'm not a designer, because I'm not excited to stitch the stitches that I design. I was like, oh, I could try to design a couple stitches. And then I was like, no, I can't, because there's so many other good ones to stitch. I'd rather stitch everybody else's than my own. So yeah, that was all my WIPs, and, like, kind of a WIP parade, because that is literally everything that I have worked on. And that is every project that I have right now. Those 13 days were really, really helpful to, like, pull everything out. But it's funny to, like, go through my markup and be like, oh, one day I did this. Oh, one day I did that. But most of my month of October was spent stitching my Hobbit door. So as far as haul goes, I actually don't have any. Can you believe it? I have no haul. I did get the Stitchy Kindness, so there's that. But I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy any floss. I didn't buy any fabric. I didn't buy any patterns. I know, it's wild. But I think because I was gone for like a week and a half, so that helped that I wasn't doing that kind of stuff. But yeah. So yeah, no haul. If you can believe that. So future plans. I'm kind of just going where the spirit moves me with a few things I want to work on. Like, I do want to finish Heart of the Autumn before Heart of the Winter starts in December. And then I do want to keep working on Tea Room, obviously, because I get excited about it. And I'm like, ooh, Tea Room, yay. So yeah, I am looking forward to working on those two. And then I have an idea. I'd love to learn and do a little more like embroidery stuff. So I think for the month of December, I might look up for some little tiny Christmas patterns, and do like 25 of them, like an advent calendar, and like do one every day. I don't know if that's possible. We'll have to see. But I think that would be kind of fun, and learn something new. And then I'd have a bunch of little embroidered ornaments I can give away to people, because we have enough ornaments on our tree right now. It is a hodgepodge. So yeah, I'm not too keen on keeping all of them, but I'll maybe keep my favorites, and then the ones that I'm like, this one's okay, I'll give away. So I'm on the hunt for some patterns for that. If you know of any, drop them down below in the comments, and I'll definitely look at them and see if it's something I want to do. I've been just looking at like small ones that's like a tree and a present, and really simple, but just to get some practice with embroidery in there. And yeah, that's pretty much all my plans for the next couple months. It's going to be the holidays, and it's probably going to be less time to be working on stuff. My daughter will be at cheer competitions coming up, so I'm sure I will bring some kind of travel stitch to stitch on when she's not performing. And I'm just sitting there, probably by myself. So yeah, definitely keeping it like light for the next couple months. Just working on what I want to work on and enjoying the craft, basically, with just like no like deadlines or anything. Deadlines are not what I love when it comes to hobbies. So yeah, I won't be doing any like Christmas gifts or stitching or anything like that. Just working on stuff to work on stuff. So if you came for the Stitchy stuff, that is all the Stitchy stuff I have for you. If you are not subscribed and you want to see some more updates on the projects that I am working on, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video, typically about every other week. Again, I am on Twitch on Wednesdays and Sundays if you want to come hang out and stitch with me and chat. It's always a super fun time. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great time stitching, and we'll get into some chill things if you want to hear about that. Also, we did just get back from Hawaii about a week ago, and I miss it already. We came back and we missed all the fall leaves, and by the time we got there, they had all been blown off, and everything was kind of like half there. And then it snowed this weekend quite a bit. So all the fall color is kind of like, and that's a little sad. The seasonal depression is really setting in since we came back from Hawaii, and it's been cold and dark, and I hate it. But we did have a great time in Hawaii. The first day was a little rough. Woke up and we went to go see the turtles, because the turtles come and sleep on the beach at night. And they're huge. They're big. And so we walked over down the beach to go see the turtles. And then I was holding my flip-flops because I don't like walking in the sand in my flip-flops. So I set them down, and then I went and took a picture of the turtle for literally 5 seconds, and I turned around and my flip-flops were gone, nowhere to be seen. I walked around and kept looking for them, and I was like, where are my flip-flops? And either somebody took them or they got washed away, which I didn't think I put them that close to the surf, and there's really not a lot of waves where the turtles were, so I can't imagine that I did that. But anyway, they were gone, so I got to buy a new pair of flip-flops that day. That was fun. They're really cute. They're not flip-flops, they're sandals. They're cute. We did a ziplining excursion, which we had done before, but my daughter's always been too small to do it. So this was the first time where she was big enough to do it. There were a couple zip lines where she had to like koala on my back. So I would hold on and we each had our own thing, but she would like be behind me and like wrapping her legs around me. And we had a really great time. This one was different and some of them were really long. There was like, I think the longest one was about 1,300 feet or something. And you get going like 50 miles an hour and it was really fun. It was super cool. And then we also did we always called it mud buggies, but it's really ATVs. So we did an ATV tour and our daughter didn't really like it at first, I think because she was sitting in the back. So I switched spots with her and she liked it a lot more in the front. And it was dirty. We used to call them mud buggies and you used to like go through muddy places if it had like rained enough, but it hadn't rained. So it was like dirt buggies, right? So ATVs. And it's just like red dust. And afterwards, like you have like the space between your goggles and your helmet is like red. Your face has got red. They give you a thing to put over your face, but it still gets through. Like my husband his fell down for a minute and he just left it down and he had like dirt in his teeth. It was gross. And then we came home and I was like, I need to shower. And so like my husband and my daughter were like, we're going to go jump in the pool. And I was like, I need to shower. Like I could feel it like in my hair. And I was like, I can't just jump in the pool. I need a shower. And it was like washing my hair, all the like red dirt coming out and like going down the drain. And I had to use like Q-tips to get everything out of my ears and even my nose. Oh, it was so dirty, but it was fun. It was a good time. Despite the dirt, it was a really, really fun little excursion. So yeah, we really enjoyed our trip. We've been there a few times. So my parents have a timeshare, so it was really fun to go hang out with them on the beach and get some family time in. And yeah, but while we were there, we started watching Loki, which is confusing as ever. It's one of those Marvel things where you're like, what is going on? But it's still good. It's funny. It's cute. And I love Owen Wilson. So it's been good. This is season 2. So if you haven't watched season 1 was really great. I also started reading The Secret Life of Addie LaRue on vacation. I didn't really get very far into it, to be quite honest. I didn't spend a lot of time reading. And I actually spent most of my time in the ocean with my daughter, which is weird because normally we don't really get in the ocean that often. It was nice to kind of like play in the waves, and she body surfed and everything. So that was fun. But I didn't get a ton of reading time in, and I know a lot of people said they really liked Addie LaRue, and it's not grabbing me right now. I will give it a couple more chapters, but I just feel like I'm like, cool. This is exhausting. So we'll see what happens. And then we kind of took a break from sex education because it was getting a little depressing. And now we've watched another episode since then, but kind of just slow. We haven't really felt like sitting down and watching a show at night lately. We did watch John Oliver the other day, and I didn't want to watch it because it was about chocolate. And I was like, I don't want John Oliver to ruin chocolate for me. He did. He definitely did. I watched some Hallmark Christmas movies while we were in Hawaii because they started their Christmas countdown. One of them was one I've actually seen. So I've seen like maybe 2 or 3 Hallmark movies, and it was a repeat. So that was fun. But we watched those for a couple nights when we were just sitting around in the room. We also watched Great British Baking Show, which is always wonderful. My favorite is the little Indian grandma. I can't remember her name right now, but she's my favorite right now, but she's not doing too well. So hopefully she stays for a couple more weeks. Hopefully she can up her game because I like watching her cook. She's fun. I also watched, I finished Only Murders in the Building, and that was good. Not my favorite season, but it was good. Very interesting, and it was definitely twisty-turny more than the other seasons. And then they always end with a cliffhanger about what the next season's going to be about, of course. So that was good. I enjoyed it. It was nice to see who done it. Wasn't exactly who you would have thought, which is always like that. You should always just go straight to like the most unlikely character. Be like, that guy did it. But yeah, it was good. It was a great season, great watch. If you haven't watched that one, it's on Hulu, and it's pretty good. And then the last season of The Crown comes out next month. They were releasing like part 1 in November and then part 2 in December. So you don't have to wait too long. But I love The Crown, and I am sad it is ending, but I really have enjoyed watching that one. I've liked all the actresses that have played the Queen, have really, really fun. So yeah, I really like that one. I would definitely recommend it if you haven't watched it. Really good. And I think that is everything that I have for you guys. So if you have made it this far and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I always share updates on not only my stitching, but on the TV shows, books, and things that I'm watching. And I love to hear your guys' recommendations in the comments. And with that, I think we're done. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.